the slides. And so welcome everybody. I'm really excited to share this topic because I am a natural physician. This is super important because it does affect your health personally, not just your business health. And so being in a mastermind accountability group and evaluating your 3 stages of business on a regular basis and working together to get to your goals, you can see.
Oh, it's on the down click too.
Because this is the PDF, so I just want to scroll instead of it's not reading.
Oh, is
One per slide.
Let me see here. So all it's doing is it's just a back end issue, but I did
Yeah.
test the arrow down.
There you
Yeah,
go.
this is great. I
Yeah.
just wanted you guys to be able to see.
more of a zoom issue.
Yeah.
Let me see it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, there's
A little bit bigger.
That's too small.
Yeah, if you just make it bigger. Yeah.
Right.
So everybody can see and read,
Oh.
right? Because that's the point of having
No.
these as a reference. So what's the value of being in an accountability group and masterminding? Well, 95% more goal achievement, 76% more goal achievement because you wrote it down. That's why I gave you a worksheet in that Google Doc, so you can start literally writing it down. And then it really improves resiliency. And so 50% improvement to report higher resiliency, which means mental, emotional health, stress management, because you feel like you're part of a group, you're supported, you're not doing this all by yourself. I know several of you are also solopreneurs, and it can be very isolating. And so one of the reasons to come into the leads group and come into accountability group is so you can have that community support, share ideas. That's the mastermind idea. It's a bigger brain when there's very many brains together in the group. And then this is what's really telling is that studies show 88% of business owners struggle with mental health, chronic fatigue, and financial stress is the #1 trigger. So prolonged stress negatively affects our health. So the #1 reason for bankruptcy is financial ruin from health crises usually. So that's what we want to avoid. We don't have to have a health crisis if we actually work together. I'm pressing down, but it didn't move.
Oh, maybe
Okay,
when I change the zoom.
Yeah, what's technical difficulties? Thanks for your patience.
Scroll.
Yeah, I don't know why it just doesn't share individual slides and I can click one at a time.
It does, but when it's not in 100%, I guess because when I go to presentate, well, hold on, sorry.
Is it
Present.
just- Yeah, present.
There
we
we
go.
go.
There you got
It
it.
was just the
Magic.
It got escaped. My apologies.
All
This
right.
is that stuff. Yep.
So this is a tool, a simple tool. We can chunk it down. So there's only 3 stages of business, right? We have front of stage. How do you get customers and leads, right? How do you get known in the community to attract leads and convert them? Then you have on stage. How do you deliver your services? Then you have backstage. How do you manage this whole thing? Now too, as it was pointed out in the presentation earlier, marketing can be last because you're bogged down in one of the other ones, right? So you don't get new customers because you're drowning in administrative duties or you're drowning in service delivery or vice versa. You get a bunch of new leads and customers that you can't serve well because you're in that bottleneck. And so that's the point here, is that we want to identify what your bottleneck is. So front of stage, a little bit more details. You can see the aspects of front of stage. So how do you attract new customers? Is it social media? Is it a marketing agency? Do you have a lead magnet? What happens when people are attracted and they come to you? And then are you getting referrals like here in the leads group from other businesses? And then what is the product funnel? What is the customer journey that they're led into? Once you attract them, how do you take care of them? And then how is your retention? How do you re-engage people? Just because somebody didn't convert immediately doesn't mean they won't later. That's the whole nurturing idea. Then we have an on-stage here, and so what's the quality of the experience? How are you delivering these services? How are you consistently delivering these services? Is scheduling a bottleneck or is scheduling easy? Is communication a bottleneck or is that easy? One of my favorite questions is it all manual? Is anything automated? Again, in solopreneur long, I remember the days of paper and fax machines before cell phones. Like, it was all manual. So those are the things to evaluate. That's what these little signs are at the bottom. Like, what are your reviews like? Do you get complaints? Are you getting comments? What's the feedback loop is very important too. And then here, backstage, so this is great for Amy referrals. Do you know your 3 kinds of statements within your financial accounting? If you have these 3 kinds of statements, do you know how to make any intelligent decisions from them? It's really usually where the ball gets dropped. Research shows majority of business owners make intuitive decisions not based on data.
Oh, I can back that up.
Yeah, you've seen it. I figured she can tell you, right?
Yeah.
That's most of the time. Just because you have cash in the bank account doesn't mean you should make these big expenditures, right? And so those are the 3 stages. So this is your question for you guys. You have the worksheet. If you want to think about it in your mind or write it down, what is your bottleneck? Is it front of stage, on stage, or backstage? And if you identify, usually in each stage, there might be a bottleneck, but what's the one that you think is really affecting you the most? Or like as a new business, it's more about building a customer base, getting new leads that you're converting, increasing sales, depending on the stage of business we're in, right? The bottleneck too that gets ignored a lot in the management stage, stage 3, backstage. Do you have an exit strategy? Do you realize the life cycle of your business? Your business has stages of life too, just like people. A lot of times people don't think about that. You can even stay in it but still exit by delegating. But what's the big picture here? Especially if you're working a lot of hours and it's negatively affecting your health, that's something to think about, right? And so identifying your stage of business bottleneck, I want to put it out to the room. How many people say first stage, attracting more customers, increasing sales, maybe marketing is a focus, depending on right stage of business, newer business. So you 3, for example, accountability buddies, Amelia, Grant, and Sue, right? Because it's all the same. It doesn't matter the industry we're in. We have to take the same actions. What does that look like? Because that's what you'll see on the worksheet too. The whole point of this is to have some monthly check-ins with your group members. You can share tools, best practices, right? Share your goals, like write them down and talk about them. Then it can be measured on a quarterly basis after you take some action. Marketing plans are actually usually 6 months, and you're gathering data every month, and you're testing and trying to figure out what is working or not. But again, if we look at things on a monthly basis, on a quarterly basis, then we can start making data-driven decisions instead of, I don't know,
Absolutely.
right?
You can't adjust what you don't measure.
Correct, and what I think is missing all the time, that's very important, if you establish what your target income is for this stage of your life, what your goals are financially, then you need to extrapolate it down. How many clients is that? And how many clients paying what price point for what packages of services? And then you really get, again, it's all about clarity, laser focus, concrete, clear targets that you can measure, whether you hit them or not. A lot of people don't do the math, but now we have AI. Claude will do math for you.
I want to double check that math though.
Yeah, you can make mistakes.
I know what it's like. I can
From the bookkeeper.
But
Yeah, right.
you can put data in there and ask questions and have a thought partner to help you iron out what would be your income goal targets. How many new clients would that be? How many clients per week, per month, per year? That would raise your income by what, 30%? Whatever your target is. And again, to what end too? Like, do you want to pay down debt? Do you want to finance kids to go to college? Are you caregiving for elderly parents? Is it about you buying a house? What is it, right? These are the questions. Ideally, we would ask, I'm inviting you to ask if you want to use this worksheet. Can just visit it every 3 months and then talk about it. So today you have your handout, you got it emailed, you can start to use that as a tool. And then 2, what other, for Amy, you, and I just spaced on your name, Sean. Oh, wow, it's not so good.
in person.
What do you guys feel is your bottleneck that you would focus on? And again, we kind of want to drill it down to one stage area, one goal, like something achievable within a 3-month period to really make some movement. Of course, we'll have areas in each stage, but if you guys, you don't have to, you can change your mind from what you say right now, but I'm curious, Sean and Amy, what would you say would be a focus for you guys to work on?
Yeah, no, the focus for me, I'm sure you guys have heard those who can't teach. My focus is on the operations side of my business.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I know it sounds wrong.
In your expansion, that's to be expected, you have expanded.
You know, and so yeah, and so right now, one of the things that I'm working on is trying to, so last year was amazing.
Yeah.
It was my first year in business. It was just me kind of flying by the seat of my pants.
Yeah.
You know, and this year I'm trying to really, the reason why I haven't taken on any more new customers this year is because I'm trying to take a step back and develop SOPs and develop processes and implement some automation and figure out how I can take on more clients without it being a bigger burden on me.
Yeah.
Right,
So
so you do it well.
efficiency.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I, you know, right now I feel like if I take on another client, I'm worried I won't be able to give them
Correct.
what they need.
Correct.
So I've been working on trying to get that situated.
So what would you say, Sean, is what you're dealing with that you would focus on?
Yeah, for Gen 9 Together, it's that back office end of it.
Yeah.
Primarily because we're really working to expand into that third publication, and that, the administrative side of publishing is big.
Yeah.
And so on the front end, everybody kind of thinks, wouldn't yours be like acquiring? And it is, you know, that sales drive is always there. But really it's managing that back end and making sure we've got that all tied in
Yeah.
together. That's why Jen and I are partnering together.
So you and Amy would be great accountability
Yeah.
buddies because you're working on the same operational efficiency growth.
That happens naturally.
Yes, I love that too.
Yeah, I'm actually taking this really awesome AI course.
There we go. That's exactly where I was going. So what we want to do is share resources and best practices. We all have the same challenges. So you're taking an AI course of how to implement those automations. Awesome.
Yeah, it's like a 12-week, fairly expensive course.
Anybody-
I swallowed that one pretty hard.
Yeah, is anybody else incorporating any AI tools to take on these things?
And also, we should take another 3 minutes and
Uh-huh.
start aim towards wrapping up.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
So I think there's, this is what I've kind of learned from my course so far, is there's implementing AI and then there's using AI as if it's Google.
yeah, it's very
And,
different.
and most business owners don't actually implement AI in their
Correct.
business to like change their processes. And like, so for me, for example, one thing, I have a payroll client. I run payroll in 11 different countries for them. And at the end of the month, I have to take all those payrolls and I have to convert them into GL entries and enter them into their NetSuite. And before it was incredibly tedious. It would take me like 2 days
Yeah,
to like put it all together. And I've trained my AI so that now I can literally drop the PDFs into it and it spits out the Excel file the way that I told it to.
excellent.
It's dropped it down to like 2 hours.
Yeah,
You know?
this is one of
I
the
feel like
best
wins. That's a
examples.
celebrating of-
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
a big win and a
Yeah.
great example, because that's what I highly recommend. We have to train the AI with our context of our business. So, for example, what AI are you using?
Claude right now.
Okay, perfect. I love Claude because it has projects. Claude's accessible for only $20 a month.
Yeah.
You can make a project for that specific project, whether it's finances, marketing, what have you. But the key is you make markdown files because they're small and they take less of the token's memory to manipulate. And you can take a Google Doc and you can download it in a markdown that you would upload to Claude. Of
You
the
can actually copy and paste it
specifications.
into Claude now
Yes,
and
you
it'll
can.
save it as a markdown.
Yes, but the point
Just train
is
it. I love
is
the
you
training.
have that in the project as the reference material of directions. And then you can just put whatever new data in to then have it be processed
It knows.
exactly the way.
Oh yeah, so one of the other
that
things
you
that
have
I did
constrained to do.
recently, I'm very excited about my improvements. One of the other things I did recently is I love my employee to death, but she asked me the same damn question every single week.
There you go.
And it was driving me crazy.
Yeah,
So I actually created a project
Yes.
in Claude, And I went through all of my clients and I pulled a year's worth of transactions for each one of them, and I had Claude help me create a transaction categorization guide for each one of them. And then I put it into this project, and now she can go in and ask Claude the same
Yes.
question she asked me, and Claude
Yes.
tells her.
Taking it off your plate.
And so that's another way of.
So that's the
Another
difference
one.
than doing a random Google search, because you put that data in and you're telling that project to always look at that source document to pull the answers from, so it can't be wrong.
So that's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is celebrating wins, and
Yeah.
this is very, and of course, coming from our operations.
Yeah.
Oh, I
This
see.
is, and this is further building trust in me of like how, and I already